Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. Yes, we are here in the studio on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and it brings me great pleasure to welcome a gentleman, a multi-instrumentalist and producer, a man that you've been hearing me speak about on the platform for the last few weeks. It brings me great pleasure to welcome out of New York, the man, Mr. Rob Moschetti. Welcome, sir, to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, brother. It's been a long time.
We have been, it's been a long time since I've seen you face to face. So I'm really happy that you're here.
Yeah.
That you have music that we're going to talk about, and you still look big and strong, my man. I'm happy about that. That you're healthy.
Yeah. It's a good illusion.
Yeah.
No.
Take your Ozempic and your metformin.
No. Metformin, yeah.
Take
Ozempic,
your metformin.
no.
My doctor has me on metformin, which I take every day, and then he says, Ozempic's good for you, Rob. I said, take it once a week. I said, okay, I'll do what you say, doc.
I take my metformin, I crumble it up, and I sprinkle it on my ice cream.
There you go. But yeah, man, you look good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so happy that you have music in the market, and really that's why I wanted to connect with you during your stint here in Texas this weekend. I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity, and I'm glad we were able to logistically work it out.
Yeah, man.
Because this record, your solo record, Prisoner to No One, definitely deserves some recognition and my support. So, Rob, we're old cats, man. We're vets, and there's a lot of people around the world who watch our program and may not know who Rob Moschetti is.
That's all good.
So for those people, let's kind of just start there briefly. You've been in music since the 80s.
Yeah.
When you first started, why did you decide to pursue music, and how did you get involved with music in NYC?
Just as most kids, in my brain, most kids always want to be like a rock star, be on stage. Like growing up with like Kiss and Black Sabbath, stuff like that. But, it seemed like a fantasy, like being an astronaut or a professional ball player.
Sure.
But there was a guy in my neighborhood who was like a local hero, probably 8 years older than me, shirtless, long hair, lowrider convertible. The whole neighborhood was afraid of him, but he played guitar. And Sunday dinners at my house, my brothers would just rave about this guy. His name was Albert DeSavo. And he always wanted someone to jam with, but he would like pick out people in the neighborhood, and it wouldn't work. Even my older brothers tried it. One day I'm like 12 riding on my bicycle, and I always just watch him, and he just saw something in me, and he's like, can you play? And I'm like, not really. Just I thought about it.
Yeah.
He pulled out a guitar, taught me the power chord.
Yeah.
And just like instantly, I just was hooked. And he saw something in me, and it just my goal at that point was to be in a high school battle of the bands because he was my mentor. I'm sorry, I'm getting choked up talking about him because he passed away. So he was my guy. I owe my life in music to the guy. So that was my spark. High school cover band until I hear Metallica, Slayer, the big four. I'm not going to lie. Anthrax. Sure. I'm turned on to them by two kids in high school. Changed my world, because being a fan of Led Zeppelin doesn't mean you have any chance of becoming Led Zeppelin. But when it's 1984 and 85 and you're hearing bands like Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, you're like, it put it within my reach.
Right.
So I remember it was...
And age-wise, those guys were probably around...
They're 5 or 6 years older than me.
just a little bit older.
So what happened is I hear Seek and Destroy, and I hadn't heard anything like it because, I grew up on Zeppelin and Sabbath and all that stuff. When I hear that dung, 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 and the chunk of E over and over again, I'm like, I could do that. I can't play, Kashmir.
Right.
But I could do that. I know I could do that because I've been playing Sabbath a little bit, and they had the chunks. And once I started doing that, literally within a year, I had an original band called Molester. And we just emulated our idols, Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer. heavy, offensive music. As we learned our craft, again, within a year, we were opening for our idols, like bands that we had their CDs and Nuclear Assault.
In the city? Or
like in New Jersey, in the city, like,
yeah.
And it was so crazy because, like, if I was a fan of Zeppelin, I was,
right,
but it never made me think I could obtain it. To be opening for the bands you were listening to a year ago in the woods, drinking beer and smoking weed. Yeah. Now you're on stage opening for them. I don't care if it was 7:00 at night and they're going on at midnight. We're on the same flyer. It was like, this is possible, you know?
Right.
So, you know, that band breaks up, jump into another band, and what happened was we had this conversation on the way here. No one ever wants to be the bass player. So for Molester, I played guitar. We couldn't find a bass player, but we had songs. So I went in the studio, did the bass, flew through it effortlessly, you know. Didn't even own a bass. I borrowed a bass to do it. When Molester broke up, this band Kill Power was looking for a bassist. I said, I'll do it. They're like, you play bass? I said, yeah, well, I played on all the demos. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I did that. And then it wasn't even a year I was with them with this other band, Mutilation, was kind of forming. And they were a little more advanced. And they had some label interest. So they asked me to join, and it was like, boom. Like, I was relentless, like, as far as... I look back at it now, and it was a little selfish, but you have to be when you're that young and you're hungry.
Yeah.
Like, you want to hang out with your friends, or you want to get to where you want to go.
Right.
So I left Molester, left Kill Power, got to Mutilation. We got signed to JL America, an old death metal record label. And that was my introduction to being signed and having record out worldwide. And then we started opening for like Cannibal Corpse, Biohazard, Creator.
Wow.
The stake got a little higher. But when it came time to do a second record, we weren't really death metal, and we were called Mutilation. So like we were going a little more melodic towards like prong, and the name just didn't match, and we were at a crossroads. And we did a demo at Tracks East in Jersey. Steve Evans was the producer. He was really nobody at that point, but he had just recorded Rhythm of Fear by MOD in 92. So I'm in the studio, do my Mutilation demo, tell him I'm not sure, we should change our name, blah, blah, blah. He goes, yeah, this is good stuff. Put it on the back burner. Billy Milano needs a bass player. And I'm like, ooh.
Did you know about Billy at that time?
Of course. I seen them open for Overkill, and I explained to my guitar player, Louie.
But did you have a relationship with him? I mean,
no,
really
didn't know him.
You didn't know him.
I knew he was abrasive and kind of WWF kind of vibe to me, you know. But I admired what they were doing.
Right.
I loved USA for MOD. I loved some of the stuff off of Gross Misconduct, you know. Saw them open for Overkill, and I explained to Louie just this morning that at one point in my life, I was envious of you guys, you know, like, not that I was a huge fan, but I'm at L'Amour's in Brooklyn waiting online, and they just kind of walk in past the line, go in, they're opening for Overkill. Yeah. And now, you know, we're together jamming and stuff. So
that's cool.
So Billy took me in. So I asked Steve Evans, what do I need to do to get to him? And he goes, well, at that point, MLG had the SOD record, they had USA, Gross, and Rhythm of Fear. He wasn't really acknowledging the surfing MOD record. So Steve Evans says, learn everything.
Right.
Learn every song. And I said, like, yeah, of course. So didn't even meet the guy yet. Learned every song. A meeting is set up at a rehearsal studio. I met Billy for the first time when I had my bass. And I remember it clearly. Play Kill Yourself. Blah, blah, blah. Play Pussy Whipped. Blah, blah, blah. Play Aren't You Hungry? Blah,
just
blah,
like
blah.
By yourself, a cappella? Just like...
Yeah, no drummer. Just watching me play it. And
that's trial by fire, man.
He thought I had a look, and he knew I could play.
Yeah.
And we had we clicked because I wasn't resistant to anything. I was open to my way wasn't really working. It was sort of working, but he's where I wanted to be. So I just shut the fuck up and took direction.
Right.
And I did what the producer Steve told me to do. He goes, make it so he doesn't have a choice but to take you. And it was more like a rehearsal, honestly. It wasn't even like an audition. He just asked me to play everything, and I was completely prepared. And then he goes, all right, now we need a drummer. And I'm like, kind of like the Kirk Hammett and the Dave Mustaine thing. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm in the band now, you know? But until we made that record, I was like, am I in, am I not? But we had to go tour Rhythm of Fear. I wasn't on the record, but he let me, when I had to learn those songs, he let me put my own spin on them.
Yeah.
And he liked what I was doing. And I was really young and ambitious. And even rehearsals were like a gig to me because I was so excited. You know, he would just have to tell me, like, dude, we're rehearsing, calm down. Like I would like do a stage show at rehearsal because I was so excited, you know?
Right.
And we did the Rhythm of Fear tour in Europe, just with two stand-ins as the guitar player and the drummer. Two Tonys from Whiplash, Tony Scaglione on drums, who had just got thrown out of Slayer, and
I remember that cat.
Tony Patero, the singer in Whiplash. But you know, I went from jamming with my high school friends to playing with this dude who filled in for Lombardo, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I don't even have to look at this guy when I play, you know. So they were pros, you know. And the funny thing is this: like, I was new to it, and I remember Tony Scaglione was getting calls from all these bands, like, to play with them, you know, like big bands. And I'm like, man, I wish my phone would ring like that. And he goes, one day it's gonna, because, you know, he saw something in me, you know.
Yeah.
We did the tour. We came home. It was known those two weren't going to play on the record. And then me and Billy alone wrote De-Evolution, you know. And if you read the album, every song, Milano Moschetti, Milano, and that was huge for me, you know. It was the first recording that I didn't have to pay out of pocket. Actually got paid, you know, to do it. He gave me, like, you know, an undisclosed amount of money in cash. Be ready in a month. And I was like, hello, weed guy. You know, I need a delivery, you know. But
special delivery.
So I went and did that record at Pyramid.
Yeah.
Alex Perialis, he did Testament, he did SOD, did MOD, did Overkill. I was like, oh my God, I'm living in a house above a studio. I'm being fed, and I felt like the luckiest dude in the world, you know? And that's how I treated every day since in music, because, like, for every guy who's resistant or complaining about their situation being in music, there's a billion guys who would kill to be in your position, you know what I mean? So I worked my whole life as a kid from 12 years old to 21 to get somewhere. And because of that, what I did from 21 to 28, just because of that, I can die a fulfilled man.
Yeah.
I achieved my dream in music. I have a beautiful wife and a beautiful daughter. You know, I'm at peace, you know, and and that's why this solo record was so important to me, because for all those years I always had to adapt. Like after MOD, we went on tour with Propane, and what happened was every day, Billy was already kind of like tired of the business in '94. So, like, we'd get to shows, and we wouldn't even sound check. He'd rather yell at the sound man that the sound sucks rather than do a sound check.
Right.
But I never got sound checks as a kid. I'm like, fuck this, I'll do the sound check. So I'd play the bass, I'd play the drums, I'd play guitar, and the guys on Propane are, like, watching, you know, because they sound checked. They were watching me, and I didn't really know. And the tour ends. We did Europe, our headlining MOD. Then we did America for like 3 months, like from September to like Christmas Eve. I remember we were in America, and I get a call after the New Year and from Nick from Propane calling me from Switzerland, and I know the club he was at. It's called the Bad Bon. It's an amazing place. He calls me from there. I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "We're throwing out Punker on rhythm guitar. You want the gig?" And I go, "Punker, like guitar?" He's like, "Yeah." I go, "I'm a bass player." He goes, "Dude, we saw you play guitar every night at sound check for fucking 3 months. Do you want the gig or not?" I go, "How long do I have to learn the songs?" They had 2 albums out, and they still were doing Crumbsucker songs. They go, "You got a week." I didn't even own a guitar at that point because I was just so Billy bass MOD. And Billy was, we only did, Billy didn't want to tour a lot. Propane were road dogs.
Right.
And they were like generating some income where I didn't have to work a job.
Right.
So,
especially in Europe, and they still do.
well, even then in America, we were relentless. So, what happened was I borrowed a guitar from a friend, and I owe him this. His name was Bill Peon. I'm still friends with him. He gave me his acoustic guitar, which I probably never returned, and I knew the songs mentally, and that's the key with me. Is like if I hear it enough, I can visualize it because I don't read music. It's in my head, so. I knew the songs from hearing them every night, and so transposing them is simple, like for me. And I learned the set on acoustic, but when I joined them, they had ESP guitars, they had Mesa Boogie amps, they had everything. And within a week, like my first show with them was like in front of like 10,000 people at a festival, and it was the first part of Propane's career where they started doing festivals because they were starting to get some traction. And I jumped in at the perfect time because, like...
Was that the Contents Under Pressure record?
Before that, I toured The Truth Hurts with them.
Oh, okay.
And then, again, like... That's a whole other... I mean,
yeah.
When I did Contents, those two of those members actually left, which was just a very weird situation because the two guys who really spearheaded me getting in the band, there was like a changing... At that point, Gary had written everything. He had played rhythm guitar and bass on all the records. Mm-hmm. And I came in. I write songs, I record. And so I started writing stuff. And, two of the guys, I'm still friends with them. There's no shame in saying it. They're like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm writing songs. And he's like, why? For the new record? I'm like, well, Gary writes everything, and you're probably not even going to play guitar on it because he plays the rhythms too. Right. I said, well, either way, I can't sit here at a beach house and stare at the wall. I need to write. So I wrote a bunch of shit. I showed it to him, and then it ended up being "Gun You Down" on the Propane record, Contents. I still had no intention of playing guitar on it. They're congratulating me. Wow, he loves the song. He wants to use it. I'm like, oh, cool. So I kind of broke a barrier with that. Right. Someone else finally wrote a Propane song. Come time to record it. They ditch Alex Perialis because I was doing these home demos. And they're like, we should record at home. Like, let's take the budget, buy some more gear. If you're making these demos, we could make a record. So we recorded the two Propane records in my house in Long Beach. And Gary tracks the entire record, saves Gun You Down for last. He can't do the chunk. Now, another thing I'm not going to lie about, Gun You Down is my tribute or plagiarism of Trapped Under Ice. It's like a gallop chunk. It's a lot of open closed, but it's like crucial where you do that. Gary's trying to do it, and he was very precise, and I wasn't. He goes, how did you do that? It's not sounding the same as your demo. I grabbed the guitar. That chunking was my trademark, And he's like, fuck, all right, you're going to play on this song. Great. Cool. Now I broke another barrier. Now another guitar player. So I do the song. We're listening back, and he's like this. Gary's like, fuck. I go, what? He goes, it sounds so different from the other 9 songs. I'm like thinking the song's going to be scrapped. He goes, you got to play rhythm guitar on the rest of these fucking songs after he just tracked the whole thing. And I'm like, yes, And it wasn't my intention. It was just my drive. Got that. It really wasn't my goal. I was happy, and I wasn't selfish or greedy enough to be like, I'm not playing on the record. I don't want to be in the band. Fuck that. I want to be in this band. I want to go make money and tour and see the world and, live like a Viking on the road, So that right there kind of changed the dynamic of the band where he started utilizing the members to his advantage. And that's why they have longevity now. Yeah. And that's why it's kind of a revolving door, but people don't understand that. That's given him longevity because by the time I quit, we started sounding redundant. You know, I was a little limited to my skills in 96, 97. What I was playing with him, I learned when I was 12 from that guy on the street, and I never advanced that because you find something that works, you just go with it, tunnel vision. I didn't want to learn real chords, and I was playing power chords. I was like click and drag. If you look at my hands, it's in the same position. I'm just moving it all over the neck. So it got a little stagnant, you know, and I'm an artist more than a rock star, and
Right.
it just wasn't fulfilling enough for me. I was like, I have to do something different, you know? And it was good, like, for them because they had to go with it. It made them evolve. Like, what they're doing now, I couldn't be in. I couldn't be their guitar player now because it's not my, it's great. It's just not my style.
Right.
They're more modern now because they have younger guys, you know?
Yeah.
So I have to be more of an artist. Like, my integrity is more important to me than my bank account, which is, you know, some people might call it stupid, but if you're really an artist, I'm not a commercial artist. I'm an artist, you know, and to me, there's a huge difference.
Right. For sure.
You know, I don't want to make the same record over and over again like everyone does because they're afraid of losing their fans.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I just, whatever's in my brain, and that's why this is so important to me because win, lose, or draw. If you don't like acoustic songs, fast forward through track 9 because it's going on the fucking record anyway. And track 9 on this is dedicated to my friend who taught me how to play because it's every song for me is real and it's from my heart. I don't write about fairies and dragons and stuff. If that works for you, that's great. But if I'm going to write, I'd rather not write at all. I went 7 years without writing anything, and I thought I was done writing. And I didn't even write for the new MOD record because I didn't want to fake it. I was like, I'm not feeling angry. I'm not feeling this.
Right.
My friend Al passing away, I wrote a song for his family and for my wife because she loved him too, and for my mom and for my brothers who passed away who introduced me to him. I just wrote a song like as a gift. That was the first song I wrote for this record, but it wasn't for a record. It was for his sisters and his brother. And unfortunately, tragedy sparks my creativity because it's how I heal.
Right.
And I wrote that song, and it's as if from the grave, Al was like, keep going, dude, keep going. And I just wrote. And my wife had to deal with someone she never knew before because for the 7 years I was with her, that guy was kind of asleep. And then she saw this other guy, and she's like, what the fuck is this? You know, because I was just driven, you know, and she was very fucking understanding about it because when I get focused on something, it's like I just have to see it through to the end. And it gets annoying to other people because I don't care about anything until I could finish
Until
that.
the project's done.
But luckily, I got it out of me, and it felt like an exorcism when I was done because I feel like I could breathe again now that it's done and I have a physical copy, and it's like, you know, I cleansed my soul.
Now we got to work in getting it out in the market.
Yeah, it's available now. I mean, it's WTF Records.
Yeah.
Is, they're selling physical copies. It's available digitally on every platform, but I refuse to whore myself out to. Like, coming here and talking to you is awesome. It's like me and you are friends, and I'm just filling you in on the last 27 years.
Well, you shared a lot of stuff right now that I never knew.
Yeah,
You.
every song. Okay, I lost 2 brothers within 3 months on 2015. Track 4, before he died, we knew he was dying. He knew he was dying. He was a percussionist. I went up to his house, and I recorded me and him. He used to do these hippie drum circles. Get high and play with a bunch of strangers, and they would just get into the zone. I went up to his house with a little portable studio. I said, me and you are going to simulate a drum circle. 8 tracks. We're going to do it once. Then we're going to play along to it, doing something different. We're going to switch instruments. We're going to, we should have done this long before you were sick, but you're not dying without me doing this with you. So we just did it. And I had it to a click track. I sat on it for, 9 years. And solo record idea comes, and I'm like, I'm using those drums, and I'm going to immortalize him on this track. And I wrote the song around what me and him played. That's why that one stands out too, as well as the acoustic song. It's very different than just a metal record, but it's too important to me to shelf because other people might not understand it.
Right.
You know, and that immortalizing him led to the track Immortal, because that's the reason I did music.
Right.
My dad died when I was young. I wanted to do something that people would remember me when I'm gone. My dad was a bus driver. He died in '84. We still talk about him. I'm like, this guy was a bus driver in New York City, and he's still a legend. I want to do that, but on a bigger level, you know? So, like, the reason I do music, too, like, it's for my art. When I'm gone, people say, well, remember Rob Moschetti? Let's put it on. We'll listen to it. He'll talk to us right now. We'll listen to his sloppy guitar playing and his overrated bass playing.
I remember the first time I met you was on the Contents tour when you guys came to San Antonio, and if my memory serves me well, that was 1997.
It depends which drummer we had. Was Shivari the drummer, or was it a little bald guy who looked like the Hulk?
I don't think it was Shivari.
Right, so it was 97. That was Mike Hansel.
Okay.
Another guy who had a week to learn the songs.
Yeah, it wasn't Shivari.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and that's great. You know, you said you waited quite a while, and you know, now the record dropped this past summer, and I'm sure you'd been working on this record for a while. When did you realize, you know, because you had all these feelings and emotions, and that's really one of the things I love about Prisoner to No One is it's a really deep record, but you know, you had all these recordings, I'm sure, of your music, and then when did you finally say, okay, it's time to put this together and get it out?
Like I said earlier, after I did that acoustic song for my friend,
that was it.
It wasn't out of my hands. I was just a vessel. The shit was just pouring out of me. I don't remember writing the lyrics. I don't remember crafting the music. And even, like, I say to my wife, like, how did this come out? Because it didn't really, other than mentally, me sitting there working things out of my head, I wasn't in my house tracking and demoing. A lot of things on this record were just in my brain. And the first time I played a lot of the stuff for the first time was what you're hearing. Like the acoustics and the vocals are first takes, you know?
Wow.
And
that's
not
cool.
only first takes, but first time I ever sang it audibly, or first time I ever played it. So there's little flubs, but Rick Rubin, the way he recorded Johnny Cash, was capturing a vibe more than perfection. So, like, after that song, the floodgates were just open, and it would have been, like, irresponsible of me to just not. It's like feeling like you got a burp, but holding it in. It's like, no, you got to let that shit out. You know? That's what it was. And I really believe that Al DeSalvo, like, told me, like, not that he told me, it just motivated me. And what happened too is, like, I wrote a record prior to this with it should have been a solo project, but I included friends, and it turned into that whole stupid band dynamic of, like, it's like, dude, I hate to be a douche, but these are my songs. I hear them already. I already recorded them all basically myself. Just kind of honor what's there, and let's keep it moving, you know. But you know, it's like someone makes a painting, and you're like, you know what? Paul Bailoff needs a Hitler mustache on it. And I'm like, no, leave it alone. Like, you can add a little bit, but don't fuck it up. Don't like add your stamp just to get your, you don't piss on it. Like, mark your territory. It's, you know.
I totally empathize, bro. I hear you. I understand what you're saying.
That's the soul, and the Prisoner to No One thing too. It's my wife and myself's motto, not just for music, for everything. Let's be fully independent. You know? Right. She had a little record deal going on with her hip hop project. Right. Some politics came involved with it, and it became like, she's like, I'm starting my own label. And I go, before this record was done, I'm like, you're a prisoner to no one now. You do whatever you want. And then her starting the label was also my motivation, because, like, if she didn't do that, I may have recorded the songs, but I wouldn't have released them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So everything kind of just fell in place organically. Yeah. It wasn't forced. I really wasn't planning on doing this, but I wanted to for years.
And just so that everybody out there knows, Rob did all the instruments on this record. So go ahead and take a look at the cover art. The record is out already on all your favorite music media outlets. So be sure to look for it once you finish watching this interview. And Rob, you were singing vocals for the first time.
Not technically. In Mutilation.
Publicly.
In Mutilation, I sang half the songs. Like we had two singers kind of. Our singer quit a week before we got a record deal. He quit because of a bad performance. And then me and the record label brought us in. They saw us at that bad performance. They just missed that part of the set. So like they wanted to sign us. And we're like, how do we handle this? The singer just quit. I go, let's not even tell them. Let them sign us. Let's go in the studio. They don't give a shit, And that's what we did. So the guitar player handled half the vocals. I handled half the vocals. And then, for these solo things I did, not solo, but for these other bands I did after Propane, I was the front man, sort of. And other times I wasn't. But this really is the first full-length record that I was,
And you're singing different styles, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. You do some clean in there.
Yeah.
There's definitely some heavy in there.
Even like with the heavy stuff, I still got to have melody. Like I can't just bark. It's just not how I do it. I don't know why. Monotone coming from me sounds boring. I'm not saying I don't like it from other people, but when I do it, it sounds fake.
Right.
I kind of like what Hetfield did on the Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. And I like what Rob Flynn did on like the first Machine Head record. Like I like heavy, growly, but with melody, Right. I'm not talking like Jeff Tate, but also I like Alice in Chains and I like harmonies. So I thought it would be cool to do harmonies on heavy vocals because not a lot of people have done that. So I'm doing 3-part, 4-part harmonies on some songs, even though I'm growling, but I can growl in different keys,
Right.
And then the acoustic stuff, I kind of pulled back for once. I'm the guy who puts too much ketchup on the burger. I had to really consciously say, okay, this song for Al, I really want a Johnny Cash Hurt vibe. I make believe Rick Rubin's producing it. One acoustic guitar. One voice, no harmonies. Even though I love Alice in Chains, I could have added 6 harmonies to that thing. And I was like, I think less is more, Like, I really had to exercise some self-control in an ego-based solo record, So it was like, I was really I had a lot of thought process putting it together. I didn't just throw it together. I'm happy with the end result. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, I love how the songs were kind of strategically placed. So you get some heavy, get into some acoustic.
That's
go
album
back
rock.
Into the heavy.
Album rock. That's what I was based on. Smoke a joint, put on your headphones. Song 1, a journey to the end. And every song, when you listen to like Master of Puppets, you know what's coming next, and it belongs there. And like and Ride the Lightning and even Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, Sabbath, like no one listens to album rock. They're like one song, download.
Sure.
I don't like, I'll adapt, but I don't like that people have the choice to say, I'm only buying this song or I'm only choosing to listen to this song more than buy it. Like, I like B-sides. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear Light My Fire by The Doors or Roadhouse Blues. I want to hear something else that they did that's not on the radio. Like, I like, B-sides is my jam.
I remember last night when we were downstairs pre-gaming, I threw on your video. I told my friend, my guest, Brian Eckerman, I said, yeah, this is Rob Moschetti. He's going to be here tomorrow. We're going to talk about this record. I said, let me throw on a video. And right away he said, oh, I know that guest guitar player, Bobby Gustafson. Didn't he play with Overkill? I'm like, yeah, man. I said, I'm sure all these New York guys know each other and stuff. So you had some people play some guitar
Yeah.
solos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How did you get Bobby on the record?
We've been friends. Like, he was one of those people. When I was envious of the MOD guys,
Yeah.
I was even more envious of Overkill, you know? So not until he played on the track did I reveal any of this to him. But when I joined MOD and then we were looking for a guitar player, he was thinking about maybe doing it. And I'm like, wow, this dude who I idolized 4 years ago is auditioning for my band now, or the band I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, for some reason, it just didn't work out. It had nothing to do with his playing because he's freaking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You know, could have been scheduling, could have been anything. But from 94 on, I knew him, and I thought it was kind of cool that, you know, he was that guy in Overkill. But then we developed a friendship just, you know, not from personally hanging out. We're in different states and stuff, but just, you know, from keeping in contact with each other.
Yeah.
And I always loved how he played because he can shred, but he's not like that 80-pound, thin-fingered, you know. He was low and mean. He was, to me, he was like, if Hetfield could play solos, that's him. I loved his stage presence. I stole his growl and snarl. Like, I used to watch him and be like, fuck, I wish I could, you know. You emulate your heroes, but he didn't know he was my hero when I asked him to play on it.
Right.
You know, we were compadres. So I asked him, he goes, yeah, send me the track. And he loved the track, you know.
Cool.
And it was that simple, you know. And he fucking murdered the solo on that song.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to say it's my favorite, but because they're all fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I had him on the right track. You know, I had a couple other people. Nick St. Dennis from Propane played on 2 tracks, and the ones that suited his style. You know what I mean? That's what I kind of did. Like, I thought, like, who would be good on this track? Like, I had 2 other guys I wanted to work with. Chuck Lanahan from the Crumbsuckers, who's in Carnivore AD, and Paris from the old Cro-Mags and White Devil. But after the songs were written, I didn't think any of them were like even worthy of their playing. I didn't want to just wedge them in it. And I hope to work with those 2 guys in the future on something else, but I didn't want to just give them something and say, yeah, play solo on this. Like, I almost was not confident enough to send it to them because it just didn't seem like suitable to them. So I didn't even show them. I was showing them tracks as I was going, but I was never saying, this one's for you. This one.
Yeah.
It just didn't pan out for this record, but, you know, I want to work with them as well. But I needed people who would, you know, I wouldn't have Yngwie Malmsteen play on a Ramones song.
Great analogy.
Yeah.
The record, you know, when you throw it on, it sounds great, man.
Oh, cool.
So you did all the recording and engineering yourself?
No. My awesome friend and amazing musician, producer, engineer, John Cosiari. He works with Bobby Blitz. He does all the vocals for the last maybe 10 Overkill records. Bobby goes to him in New York. Bobby's still up there by me. And then they send the tracks down to Florida to Dee Dee. So Johnny, me and him have been working on stuff like for years, you know. So he knows we don't butt heads. Every song on this, drums, guitar, bass, vocals, 3 hours to do all of that because I was just prepared. And I knew my tones, and he knows my tones. I would say 3 hours to track each song, an hour to 2 hours to mix. And I left for the mix.
Wow.
And when I tracked it how I wanted it to sound in the mix. And early on, he was like, no, we'll do that in the mix. I go, no, we don't play that game. Do it now. And he'd be like, well, you're stuck with it if you record it like that. I said, that's what I want. I want to be stuck with it because that's how I hear it right now. I want delay on it, put the delay on it on the master track, you know. And now he understands that. So when he mixed, all he had to do was get the levels,
That was it.
hit record. Yeah. There's no fishing faders and fading in crap. And nope. I record shit at the level. And this is the problem. I worked with a big producer who shall remain nameless. It's just a single named producer who a lot of people use, and I wrote a very dynamic track on an old band of mine, which remains nameless until you bring it up. And I wrote this track, and I had it in my head. I wanted to hear like a jazz bass in the verses, and then heavy as fucking hell during the choruses. Right. Dynamics.
Right.
Multi-dimensional. And I stressed this, and I stressed this. No, you got to record it like this. We'll do it in the mix. We'll do it in the mix. We'll do it in the mix. The mix comes back. It's exactly what I didn't want. Yeah. And I go, I wanted it to be dynamic. And you know the response I got was, well, you should have recorded it that way. Here's $10,000 for your work. Thank you for not listening to the guy who wrote the fucking song.
Was that a Generation Kill song?
I don't know who you're talking about. I never heard of it.
Okay.
No, it was.
Yeah.
But it was frustrating.
For sure.
And especially since I wrote the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you got to respect the artist. And I'm not looking for you to blow me. Right. But like, I wrote the fucking thing.
It's your song, bro.
You know, like, I don't want your version of it.
Right.
Don't
reinterpret it for
the
me.
Complaint I got from that was, you didn't really give me much to do on this record. Everything. Well, good. I don't need you to write my songs. Like, you should be happy. You just made $10,000 for doing nothing.
Right. Wow, that's cool. Initially, the record came out just kind of like locally, nationally.
This one?
Yeah. And then you mentioned earlier that it got picked up by WTF, kind of they're helping you with the distro. I know it's still on Cat's label, right?
Yeah. Did Me Dirty.
Did Me Dirty Records. I like the little guy that you have.
You want to know the truth? It was because of the whole politics of her being signed. It was a verbal thing.
Yeah.
Release her hip hop stuff. And someone stepped in and altered that process and got in the middle of it. And it was like, I'm motivated because you did me dirty. So it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You ain't stopping me. And that's her talking.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you ain't stopping this fucking girl. You know what I mean? Like, you come at her with a fucking feather duster. She's coming at you with a bazooka.
Right.
So it was the best thing that ever happened to both of us.
Yeah.
Because, like, now we don't have to answer to anybody.
And you're in control.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad that now people around the world can get this record.
Yeah, I'm really happy. Like, I'm getting hit up. Belgium, Czech Republic, you know, like, people just like it. And that's all I really want out of it. I'm not looking to pay my mortgage with it. It's... An artist wants people to see their stuff or hear their stuff or taste their stuff and love it. Like an old woman who cooks for your friends when your friends come over and your mom cooks. That's her art. Yeah, and when people smile, it makes her happy. Yeah. That's what this is. Like, this is my meal for people to fucking indulge in. And if you like it, that's my payment.
And digest.
You know, like, I sold some CDs from Europe. The guy hit me up and he's like, your first pressing sold out. I need more. It felt nice, but that wasn't my motivation. Of course, you want people to like your art.
Right.
But when you let that control your art, it's not art anymore.
Right. And
Sorry.
How many times have we seen that happen?
Well, how many bands have written the same record over and over again with the same album cover and the same music video? Like, me and Cat try to be artistic. Like, I'm in my 50s. She's in her 40s. Like, why are we doing what... We shouldn't do what other people expect of us. Let's do what we want.
Right.
You know, you want to play piano on a track, and I want to play hip-hop drums on your track, and we want to use a nasty phone message that was given to her by some psycho and put it on a track. We're going to do it. You know? Like, that's art.
Right. You've done some video work in support of this record. You did one for the title track, Life and Death, which is one of my favorite songs.
Nice.
And then Guardian Angel 2. How important was that for you to kind of get some good video work out in the market too?
Well, it's another passion of mine.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember you saying right now.
I loved, like, the arts as far as, like, visual and audio. And as early back as the 90s, me and Nick St. Dennis, when we had so much off time, not a lot with propane, but we had off time. We're in a beach house in the middle of winter. It's a ghost town, and we have a studio in our house, and we would just do creative things like take video and to put different audio to it. And it was all, Gary thought we were wasting our time. He'd be like, you guys have too much time on your hands. It's not true. I was subconsciously preparing myself for the future of being creative with audio and video. And so the first video I did shoot for this one was Guardian Angel. And I wanted it to have that vibe of like good and evil. And you know, at that point, like Eddie Van Halen had passed, and before that Steve Jobs had passed. And I learned one thing is that like money and fame and it don't save your life when you're sick or if you're terminal. It don't mean shit. And if you sold 1 million records in life, God don't care. When you get to the pearly gates, they're going to be like, oh, so you didn't help that old lady with her groceries, you know? Right. Yeah, but I sold 4 million records. God's like, I don't give a fuck. So that's the hook,
right?
You know? I'm your guardian angel. Take my hand. I don't give a fuck about your bullshit band. It's like, that don't mean shit up here.
Right.
And that was the motivation because I saw a lot of people higher up. You're not God, but you're going to meet him one day. You know what I mean? And that was my motivation for that. So the video had to have like, don't be afraid of God to be a good person. Just be a good person. You know what I mean? Like God-fearing, I don't believe in that. I'm not good because I'm afraid of going to hell. I'm good because my parents raised me right. You know? So it's just, I don't know. I don't know what really motivated that for real, but I just had that monstrous hook first, and then I just wrote around it. You know, it just kind of wrote itself.
Would you do any more video work, you think?
I want to, but I do all those myself, and my wife films with me. When I'm filming her with her project, or she's filming me with my project, or I have my iPhone on a tree as I'm singing in the woods. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've kind of run its course. It's kind of run its course as far as my capabilities. I do have a great idea for the song "Once Was."
Okay.
Because it's a story about, you know, a drunk father, a high mother, and a tortured son. And I see it in my head, but I'm like, this can't be an iPhone video. This has to be like showing the dad being a rich, drunk idiot, had everything and lost everything, marries the prom queen, beautiful woman with everything. She becomes a junkie. And the kid, seeing this, grabs a knife, goes into their bedroom. You think he's going to kill them. He kills himself just to torture them. Like, you tortured me my whole life. Check this out. Like, where did that come from? Probably all the dark television shows my wife watches as we go to bed.
Wow.
Thanks, Discovery Channel. And what's the channel? I don't know. But I go to sleep to, like, you know.
True crime.
Yeah, true crime. Like, I think true crime interrupted my dreams. I'm like singing about sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. And all of a sudden I wake up and I'm like,
you're going to need a little budget for that video.
Yeah, because it would require actors.
Sure.
And I don't even think those videos are like relevant these days. But so I'd rather do nothing than do shit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
no, I think what you've done so far is cool.
Yeah.
They put the record out there.
It conveys my vision for the song, and if you know, to have 3 videos for one record is probably too much. But
right. Would you ever want to do any solo shows? Is that something you thought about?
If it was easy, I would. Okay. No.
I mean,
I'm probably going to catch
on the East Coast.
I'm going to catch hell for this.
What?
David Geffen once said, "This music business, it's awesome, except for you have to deal with the musicians." So, if I could have 3 other guys, drummer, bass player, lead guitarist, who would just understand what it is, be prepared, make it easy. Of course I would.
Yeah.
that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's like, so again, I'm not just gonna. I've done this before. You know, bands that you've mentioned earlier should have been solo projects or could have been solo projects, but I mercy fucked friends to put them in a position they didn't belong in.
Right.
You know, you don't bring a guy from the warehouse up to the executive suite and expect him to fucking know everything.
Right.
So I kind of sabotaged 2 projects just because I felt bad for people. Like, you know what? They never made it to that next level.
Right.
I left them to get to my dream. Come on with me. We'll do it together. Guess what? It doesn't exist.
It was a catch-22, man, because you're trying to be the good person and do the good thing and help people, and then...
Well, I learned a valuable lesson.
Yeah. It ain't show friends, it's show business.
Well, not even that. Having the ability to help people.
Yeah.
People resent you for having the ability to help them. I could have done this myself. Mm-hmm. If you could have, you would have.
Right. And
not to sound like a fucking asshole, but I tried to help you. I felt bad for you. Right. You know, my next record should be called The Mercy Fucks. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it no more. And I've been deemed difficult to work with. You know, by who? Amateurs. Billy never said that. Gary never said that from Propane. I was fucking prepared. I gave him a fucking pint of blood and a gallon of sweat every fucking night. Played sick, played with COVID, played with double pink eye, played with fucking illnesses that would fucking kill a man. And I fucking did it every goddamn night and never complained about it, you know? Right. So I am difficult to work with if you're a fucking asshole or a loser or a fucking unprofessional schmuck.
Right.
So that's, I'm sorry if I'm getting fucking passionate about it, but that's the truth. Professionals never said I'm difficult to work with. Right. They said he's a bad motherfucker and he's always fucking prepared. And we never, 4th and goal, give me the motherfucking ball. Well, I mean, I think it's good for you to have high standards. Sorry, expectations. I'm ready to fucking strangle you right now. I'm just kidding.
This interview's going so well.
I'm just kidding. I love Rob.
I know. I'm sorry. You kind of, I guess I may kind of alluded to it right now, but is there any new music that you're working on? Do you see maybe doing a follow-up to Prisoner to No One? Here's what's going on. Like, I finished this record, and I still must have had one in the chamber. Yeah. Because I wrote this blistering, heavy fucking track. Yeah. But I don't regret not putting it on this because I don't think it would have worked. Right. And it wasn't inspired by this thought process. Mm-hmm. My wife was asked to be part of a really important movie in music called Heavy Healing. She's part of it as an artist. She has music that could be contributed to the track to the movie itself. We don't know if that's happening or not, but just her presence, telling her story, is everything. So we watched the trailer for it, and I'm thinking in my head, because it's got Vinny Stigma, it's got fucking Jimmy Gestapo, it's got Luke Kohler, it's got Eddie from Leeway, right. All these people, and she's a hip hop artist, and she's like one of 2 women in the movie. And I'm like, as I'm about to say it, like, we're both kind of, she's like, I want to do a heavy song too, because I always said, like, the Beastie Boys always just did a punk song on their hip hop record. So literally I still had that creative thing going, and very quickly I wrote this blistering music and gave it to her and said, do your thing. And yo, it is the most vicious thing I've ever been a part of. I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. I'm saying it because the emotion that she conveyed on this thing can't be simulated by any death metal singer, any veteran of growling or screaming. It's controlled. This is off the rails fucking heavy. So right now, this is out. We're just finishing up the mixes for MOD's EP. Right. But now my creative mind is towards writing some more music for Cat's project. Just Destroy Myself Canceled. And you play in the band too, right? Yeah, I'm kind of like a hired gun, like musically. Like for her hip hop stuff, she'll write Right.
I'll be watching TV and she'll be playing the piano. And then when something just jumps out at me, or her, she'll be like, Rob, get up, record this before I forget it.
Right.
And I'll just record it. Then I'll sit down. Our dining room is a piano and a drum set. We eat at the little bar in the kitchen. So if something grabs her or grabs me, I'll sit on the drums. I'll say, keep playing that. Boom, 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 boom. I'll record it. That's the embryo of what becomes a song. So that's as genuine and organic and artistic as we could be. And for some reason, like, we found each other to be able to. It's not easy to find someone you have chemistry with. But I found it with her. The first day I met Daryl from Run DMC, we were going to work on one song. Right. Because he actually loved the song that I hated the mix of. I was speaking of earlier with the dynamics. He loved it. And he was writing about collaborating with me. He wanted to write a song. And first day I met him, we wrote and recorded, demoed 3 songs because you have that chemistry. You don't fuck with that. You just run with it. So to have a spouse to be able to be creative with and have a vibe with. She went in the studio, and the same thing with this record. The first time she sang it from her fucking gut is what you're hearing. And that's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, I saw the video when you sent it to me. Yeah. Very, very heavy. And Well,
we both did that. You know, like I handled the performance part of filming it. Like, even though I played all the instruments, I didn't want to be in the video because to me, she's the focal point of that band and of that video.
I thought that was you under the mask.
No, actually, it was local musicians, friends of ours that did us a huge solid. So you want to be in a music video? Oh, absolutely. There's one catch. No one's going to know who the fuck you are because you're wearing a mask. But no, it's so obvious who they are. And they were so happy when they did it. They had so much fun doing it. And we tried to make it fun and happy, you know? And so I handled like the performance part of it. She's more artistic and like the other stuff, like the masks were her idea, the smashing of things, like, you know. Cool. It was like the visual of like the other stuff was really her, and then together we edited it, and I'm really happy with it. She's happy with it, and most people's reaction to it is either vicious or wow. And that's what we were going for.
I think I was first wow. And then
we've been waiting for your like response to it. I'm like, check it out, and I never got nothing. I'm like, maybe you don't like it. Maybe it's too heavy for his, his striper ears, winger striper.
This is a great opportunity to welcome Cat Marino onto our little stage here. So, Cat, come on up and have a seat next to your man. And
how you doing, Rob?
Hi, how are you?
What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
So I remember watching the video, and Rob had said, Cat wants to know your feedback on the video. I watched it several times because I think every time I saw the video, there was something about your performance that I would catch that was new. So talk a little bit about what it was like kind of shooting that and fronting kind of that band for the shoot.
It was something I needed to get out. It was like an exorcism, like he was talking about.
You can just be honest.
It gave me a new life. I've been a very angry person my whole life because I grew up with 2 asshole brothers who are now in Scientology. We don't speak.
Wow.
So, yeah. So,
Hollywood types.
Sure. Yeah.
That's more, in my opinion, more than Scientology.
Right.
Big shots.
Yeah, big shots. So, they, throughout my life, they've always kind of just put me down. Your voice is annoying, your laugh is annoying, because I was the shining star of my family, and they didn't like that. They wanted to stifle that. So it was always, you're a loser, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why are you dressing like this? Why do you look? Everything was just scrutinized under a microscope, and I did nothing but support my brothers. I mean, they went through so much shit in their lives, and I always had their back, and I never really understood why they wouldn't allow me on the island. Then things came to a head a few years ago, and and I had all this anger in me over the situation that
Pent
happened.
up anger.
Pent up for years.
Lifetime of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this one situation, the straw that broke the camel's back, and it enraged me. And when we went to shoot the video, I said, I'm letting it all out. This is the day I get rid of everything,
Right.
all my anger, gone. So I said, I'm taking a baseball bat, and I'm taking my brother's childhood photos, and I'm fucking smashing
So that frame
it.
that you're smashing, that's really
That's my family.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are my
With
brothers.
herself in it with them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and they tried to destroy me as a human being, but I'm too resilient, so they
Wow.
can't shut me up.
You know what though? It took me telling her,
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, you got a beautiful voice, you got a beautiful spirit, you have all this to give. You have musical. She didn't even know she had musical ability until she like was nurtured.
Right.
She had it. They shit on it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were intimidated.
For sure.
And
When I was younger, my aunt had a piano at her house, and I was always the kid who was interested in the instruments. So I would go over to the piano and just fiddle around or whatever. And my brothers, my whole family was like, wow, this girl is like 4 or 5 years old. She's playing piano. This is great. My brothers would go, you're playing with 2 fingers. Like, just diminish, everything that I did. But, yeah, their hatred, I guess, towards me came out in the music.
And fueled it.
Yes, it
Well,
fueled
just
it.
like Rob said earlier, right? You have to have a little bit of suffering to have that creative kind of fire.
if you want it
Absolutely.
to be genuine.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like I said, if you want to sing about, fairies and dragons, and mythical creatures, that's
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Right.
But we don't.
But it was an exorcism. And the whole album was a big fuck you to everybody who tried to knock me down. And you can't, not even death could kill me. I went into cardiac arrest years ago, had cancer, got a pacemaker, defibrillator. I'm going in for my 4th heart surgery in 2 weeks. Death can't even kill me. Death can't shut me up. No one in my family is going to shut me up. And no part of a gang, if you want to call them, is going to stop me. So,
this track is one of many.
Well, there's
Yeah.
8 hip hop tracks,
Okay,
and then this.
and then the brutality.
But the next step, after maybe another heavy track or another hip hop track, will complete her first album.
Right.
But what the future
I want
holds,
to make sure we get this.
what the future holds right now, as like I don't want to say I'm her producer, but
Right.
musical director maybe.
Right.
I think we're in heavy mode for a little bit,
Right.
and then maybe there can be a mix of both subtly. She doesn't want to be the Limp Bizkit, like Linkin Park thing, It's got to be original and creative and real, genuine. So like, I want to go, and I know she feels the same thing about the heavy direction, but it's we're prisoner to no one, where we could just kind of write what she feels, and I'm there to guide her through the process.
yeah, I'm not limited to one genre of music. I could just do whatever the fuck I want.
So eventually there will be a full length.
She's
record.
one
Oh, yeah,
song
one
away
song
from
away.
completion.
Oh,
So
wow,
right now
that's great.
on iTunes, Spotify, Destroy Myself Canceled, DMC, and that came about because Daryl was kind of looking for some music. I've written music for him before. I kind of slipped one past the goalie. I sent him one of her tracks,
Right.
and he's like, "Oh my God, I love this. It's like Bittersweet Symphony, but heavier. I want that. You want to use this?" I go, "Cool. It's not mine. Who is it?" "It's my wife." "Will she let us use it?" I said, "Yeah, you want to sing on it, you're more than welcome to. But we're not giving it away."
Right.
And he was so imperative to her confidence as a writer. Like, as a husband, "Oh, that's great, honey. That's beautiful."
Right.
She didn't know if I was being
The loving husband.
the loving husband who knew that she's been
Exactly.
shit on,
Right.
like as far as like her talents,
Right.
all based on fear. You don't compliment someone because you're afraid they're cooler than you. So I was like, "Yo, it's good." And D has no motivation to tell you it's good and that he
No
wants to
agenda.
sing. He has no agenda.
Yeah.
He's not going to sing on it. I send him shit. He don't respond. That means he don't like it. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
the
and
fact that he was interested in it was
He has such a heart.
mind-blowing.
He won't tell me, no, I don't really dig it. I just won't get a response because he doesn't want to be mean.
Right.
He also doesn't want to stifle my art. He knows I'm an artist. So,
Right.
But when he's like, so he agreed to that. She wrote like 7 other songs without him. And I'm like, this is awesome. Then she writes another track. I sent it to him. He was in Korea.
right. That's right.
He hears it. I want to be on this track. Book a studio. I'm coming home in a week. I'm trying to find studio time. He fucking did it like either in Korea or when he got home. He just
He
did
was
it.
pumped about it.
So it's already done.
Oh, it's done
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
released. It's like
We have a video for it
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah.
And the crazy thing about the first track she did called Scars, he didn't know she wrote the hook. He didn't know it. He only heard the music.
Mm-hmm.
Scars is, living and accepting your scars, whether they're mental, physical, visual. We never showed him the hook. We just showed him the music. He wrote verses based on being damaged and scarred. And we're like, what the he wrote the same subject as you,
the hook,
but he
yeah.
never heard what you wrote.
Mm.
The music inspired the subject.
Same
Something
feeling.
about that music conveyed pain, but power, like gaining strength from your struggle, like something in that music. Or fate. You believe in fate?
You have
So,
to.
and welcome to the babbling interview because, you
No,
get
it's
us
all good.
going, bro. This is our passion.
It's all good,
If it's
bro.
not obvious to everybody, like,
I think this is the easiest interview I've ever done.
music is our fucking passion, bro. And we live 1 minute at a time, not one day at a time. If you can have great minutes in your life, there's people who've lived their whole life, never have 1 minute of scoring the winning goal, getting the girl, playing in front of the audience, getting the song on a video. People go their whole life
Sure.
non-existent. They go to work. They're brilliant geniuses, but they don't have a girl. They go home to an empty apartment and they're just sad. We're not doing that, man. Like, we're living, and I think people get that. Like, when we go to shows and we play shows and we're at shows, those aren't fans. They're friends.
Yeah, those are
like
friends.
last night and the night before. Every time she went in the bathroom, she came out with a group of girls, and I'm like, she's changing numbers. And the last time we were in Texas 3 months ago, people we met are back, and they're not our fans; they're our friends.
Right.
Like, they support what we do, but that's not why we're friends. We connect. You know what I mean? Like, we all have the same thoughts, and like, there's a line on my record. I'm just like you. I laugh, I cry. I live and breathe. I die. We're all humans. You know what I mean? Like, when you look up to somebody, they shouldn't look down on you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's right.
Relish in life. So Kat, Rob was mentioning this movie.
Yeah, it's a documentary called Heavy Healing, produced by Howie Abrams, OG in the hardcore scene.
Right.
Jamie York, another old timer, and Seth Abrams. No relation to Howie, just same last name. And it's called Heavy Healing. It's all about people who've suffered, traumatic health issues, whether it be stroke, cancer, losing a leg, whatever the case
Even
may
like
be.
depression and
Yeah,
stuff like
depression,
that.
anxiety.
Anything.
And how music, heavy music specifically, really helps you heal. It helps
Right.
you heal mentally.
Right.
And that's what this documentary is about. So everyone who's struggled health-wise in like the New York music scene, we're all put together in this documentary, and we just explain how it healed us. I had cancer. I was sick for 3 years. I listened to Among the Living over and over and over and over again, and that gave my mind, it switched my mindset
Sure.
to okay, I'm powerful. I could do this. I'm hearing the lyrics and I'm getting hyped. And physically, I couldn't move, but in my head, there was movement. And I'm like, yes, I'm alive. I'm alive. Like, this means I'm alive. So that's what the film is about. And how, rather than waiting to die, what are you going to fill your time with?
Right.
Why not music and heavy music? Heavy music and heavy metal has a bad rap, unfortunately. And people think, oh, devil, this, black, or whatever. No, it's people who have been through hell and back, writing their stories, and people listening to it, connecting with it, and it's not bad music and it's not bad people. It helps people get through difficult times, get through sicknesses or a death.
As a listener or a creator.
Yes.
Her own music, I think, helped her heal mentally.
It did. It absolutely
My
did.
own music helped me overcome the loss of brothers and friends.
Right.
Like, it's cathartic to us.
Yeah.
And heavy healing, I think, too. It's like, these guys really tapped into something, and I'm really proud that she's part of this. But I'm also proud that Howie, Seth,
and
Jamie were bold enough to like go in a direction that's not like glamorous and look at me. Mm-hmm. We all have weaknesses. We all bleed and we all cry. It's how you deal with it. And I think her music helped her heal mentally. And she didn't even, as we were doing the movie, or she was doing the movie, she's writing these songs and healing herself, but she's also connecting with other people who have been repressed and depressed, and it's fucking brilliant, man.
And so they might use some of your music in the movie?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping so.
Say a prayer, yeah. You never know. Could happen.
Our publishing's a lot cheaper than...
For sure. For sure. Is that guy Jamie a photographer?
Yes, he is.
Brilliant photographer.
He's incredible.
Videographer.
Artist, painter, yeah.
They're all brilliant guys.
I've seen his name before, and I think he did a shoot with Lou when Lou had announced that he was cancer-free.
It's part
that
of
he was well.
It's part
That's
of
part
this
of
movie.
heavy healing.
Oh,
yes,
okay. Yeah,
yes.
I've seen some of the photos that Jamie did.
Yeah, it's part of this film.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's incredible to be in the same category as these legends. I never thought I'd be doing music. I was a makeup artist for 18 years, got sick, had to close up my business, and he comes into my life and he's like, you're a fucking rock star. You're a rock star. Yeah. You have timing. You have rhythm. We're going to get a fucking piano. We're going to do this. And he just encouraged me to do it I didn't have like, oh, at the end of this, I'm going to have fame or fortune or whatever. It was just, it was love. Exactly. It was love.
The funniest thing ever is, revenge and desperation is never our motivation. But the funniest thing about this is like the girl who wasn't talented and wasn't, her voice was this and this. She's in a movie with your idols.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the very people who put me down, idolize. I'm in a documentary with the guys
with their
idolized.
Yeah.
So
it's like,
how ironic.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I convinced her, but when I met her, there
damaged.
There was no music in her. It was in her head.
Right.
I saw her. She had half a shaved head. She's fucking dressed like, this fucking girl's a rock star. Mm. And I told her that, and she's like, "No, I'm not. I'm really not. I barely do music or whatever." I said, "Listen, there's a billion guitar players out there that are incredible, and they're way better than me, but they ain't fucking rock stars. You have something else.
Right.
Learning an instrument or crafting something like that." It's fucking easy. You have something magnetic, and it's not just because you're beautiful. There's something about you. Like you walk in a room, people are like, she's somebody. I go, that you can't learn. I can teach you or help you, guide you through your musical stuff, because as soon as she started playing, 8-second gaps and stuff. Without her doing this and without hearing this, I'm counting in my head. Boom, right back on time. I'm like, holy fuck, she's got timing. you can't teach somebody like, and usually it's in Latin people, it's in your blood. You know, white people can't dance, but she ain't white. You know, like she has rhythm.
Right.
All that other stuff could be, you know,
Be learned.
nurtured. But a positive. To be dead honest with you, until I met that guy Al and Billy, I didn't know if I was good enough. When Billy's like, dude, you're a fucking badass, you know, like you got that look, you're great, man. I was like, yeah. But until someone tells you that,
Right.
everyone's insecure, you know, but with positive reinforcement and like,
And then it just continues to snowball.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And once you have that self-confidence, then
Yeah.
there's no turning back. There's no stopping
It's
you.
very cool because years ago, I've always been big into music, but I was a VJ for Fuse, the Fuse network.
Oh, right.
And, I always thought that's where I would belong, and I realized I don't want to be
She was
behind.
on the wrong side of the
yeah,
table.
I was on the wrong side of the table.
Yeah,
Right.
I saw the interviews. She's interviewing Fat Joe. I'm like, he should be interviewing you. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I thought. I was like,
But that was never, it was always a dream to be a musician, but never in any reality did I think it was going to happen. And he actually made it all come true for me. I got to really thank you for that. Yeah. He changed my life, this guy.
It's happening for both of you now.
Yeah,
at
man,
this
it's
point.
awesome.
it really is fun, man. That's the main thing. Like,
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
having fun and we're making people happy, and that's all we want to do. In life.
And everything that you put out or work on or collaborate on, I mean, it's going to live on forever.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be immortalized in
Immortalized.
with people.
Track number 8.
Number
Immortal.
8. Guys, as we get near the end, Rob, I have to ask you. You alluded to it earlier. Is the new MOD record is done? Almost done.
Performance done.
Yeah.
Billy is mixing it, but I can't say it's not an easy mix because he needs to be present for it. You know what I mean? So there was a couple of different options, and they didn't pan out for various different reasons. He just needs to be there for it. I, on the other hand, leave that to the guys who know
Do the
exactly
mixing,
what
right.
they're doing. But that could be costly. Guy spends 12 hours on your mix and then you don't like it. You still owe him the money.
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, Billy has to be happy with it because MOD is his.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to fight him on that for ego or principle. He hears it in his head, and I respect that because I've been there.
Right.
I don't want to change his vision. And if it's not right, it might get frustrating, but I have to respect his art the same way I want people to respect mine. I don't want to be the dick that was in my old projects fucking battling me. If it's not how he hears it in his head, it's not right.
That's right.
So he deserves to have it sound the way. And it gets frustrating. I'm not going to bullshit you, but I don't care at this point where it's like years ago it would have made me angry or quit or this or that. Like, we got to keep going. Got to go. No. I pulled back tremendously because I have way more respect for the art of it. When I was younger, it was about getting high and getting laid. When you're little, you want to be a rock star for all the wrong reasons. But until I quit Propane, that's when I really fell in love with music and I realized how important it was to me. It was part of my life. It wasn't just like, I was a taker up until 98. I took everything I could and I quit Molester to join Kill Power. I quit Kill Power to join Mutilation. Quit Mutilation to join MOD. Quit MOD to join Propane. I joined Propane the second week I was in there. Prong was trying to get me in. And I took their phone number. Like, it's not me anymore. You know, I have to like show some, restraint. The only other band I'm joining now would be like, if Metallica said we're going back to the old style, and but they're not taking me after having Trujillo. But I got to respect Billy's wishes as far as MOD is concerned, and I'm not going to be that guy to fight with him because you're not going to win that battle.
Right, of course not. Has he mentioned like ideally when he would like to have the record out or the EP out?
He would like to have it finished now already, but there's a strategy involved with it. Like if we release it now, it's too late to play any summer festivals because they're booked. Right. They're booking next summer.
For sure. So
the smartest thing he would do is plan for next summer to go do Europe and release it in spring. That's what we did with Propane, and that was our top 50 record. We released it at the end of spring, did summer festivals, played in front of probably close to 500,000 people on that tour because we did every freaking festival. Record went top 50. I'm like, we got a new album out. Sea of people. You sell it to like 1/10 of 100,000 people, you're going to chart, and if that's even his strategy. I don't know what his motivation is. Like right now, it's still in the artistic phase. So there's a business strategy to that. If I can take off work and bring her with me, let's go. Let's go. Other than that, I know there's a billion other bass players who would want to go do it. But me and Billy, we're brothers. Like, there was something coming up, and I said, I can't do this, but if you want to find a replacement just for that, I'm fine with it. And he wrote never. And I showed it to her, and I was proud of that. I don't want to hold them back. If I have a job and a life.
Right.
And I also don't want to dedicate all my vacation time from work to a tour. That's not a vacation. That's not fair to my wife and daughter.
Right.
You want to go to Bermuda, or you want me to go on tour for a month? But all that other stuff will work itself out.
It seems like you have a great plan and a great strategy for how you approach things at this tenure in your life, and that's great, man.
You know what the leverage is? I just don't care. I don't have to suck anyone's dick to get radio play because I don't care if like the whole business right now is based on bullshit where I know who hates everyone and but they'll never say it because it's a chance of an opening slot on their band. This one's an asshole, that's one. Then why are you going to dinner with the guy if he's an asshole? Like there's no integrity.
Right.
Being with Billy is liberating. Like I'm not blowing you to get on your radio show. If you like the stuff, play it. If you don't, I've already lived my dreams. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be your bitch to live a fantasy I've already lived. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't shoot to be, the biggest band in the world. I wanted to make records, make some fans, some friends, and see the world. I did that by the time I was fucking 25. So I work and I tell her the same thing, and our daughter, because I base my whole life on this philosophy. Be motivated by inspiration, not desperation. You make weird decisions when you're desperate. Just be true to yourself. Be inspired. Don't put out a record because it's expected of you. Don't write something because it's expected of you. Just write from your heart.
For sure. And
write for yourself. And if people like it, it's a bonus. If they don't, at least you're true to yourself.
And a lot of times people will, grasp on to something because they feel the same way you do.
Well, listen.
And you don't even know sometimes.
There's two legendary bands, and I don't give a shit saying it because they said it themselves. When Testament put out that Serenity song.
Yep.
Oh, that song is like basically what the record label wanted from us.
Right.
And then when Exodus put out Force of Habit, Gary said it himself on an interview. Yeah, that was like a record the label expected us to put. You wrote it and you put it out.
Right.
Like, so don't blame them. You know what I mean? Like, if you stuck to your guns, which they have reverted to. But if I wrote something, if people don't get my acoustic, heartfelt track, fuck off. I ain't changing it for you. And if later on I'm never going to say, well, I wrote that song because I was feeling kind of sad and probably should. No, fuck you. That's how I felt at the moment.
Right.
And I own it. Just fucking own it. You know? Say that's what I felt like doing at the time. Not many people liked it.
Right.
But it's just so like, nobody told you to part your hair on the side over one eye and go into a pool hall and sing over a rainbow. Like, nobody told you to do that. You were going for something, you know, to get big, to get a more commercial thing. Just fucking own up to it. Say, yeah,
Right.
we tried it and it was a mistake. But that's part of life. You know, but when you're part of this big fucking corporate machine and on a very small scale, the Gun You Down song on Propane. The end of it, I wrote this beautiful, clean string thing, and we put it on there. And Gary was a little nervous about it, and he won't deny it. He goes, this is kind of weird for Propane, but if people hate it, like just say you wrote it. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm proud of it.
I did write it.
And now people then and now still love that.
I think that's
song.
one of my favorite songs off that record, bro.
Yeah, but you know what? 'Cause
You
it's
never
honest.
forget.
I didn't write it for you. I wrote it for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I think people can see that.
Yeah.
All right, what time is it? We got a gig to play. This guy's keeping us here.
Guys, thank you so much.
Help me.
Rob, thank you so much. Kat.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
me.
Against our will.
Thanks
Please.
for having us.
No.
Any last words before I close out?
The new MLD record, the EP, it's very cool. It's very Garage Days, the first 595 kind of vibe, but except for it's, you know, MLD material. And her record, if you're into like the hip hop, old school stuff with a little touch of some heavy, I highly recommend Destroy Myself Canceled on all platforms. It'll be available on physical copies once the last song is done.
Sure.
And this is available on WTF Records and Did Me Dirty Records digitally on all platforms. And
Yeah.
we just hope you enjoy it. We're not looking for a payoff out of it other than people's pleasure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for all of that, Rob. Thank you so much for all your insight and for sharing so much of yourself, man. I really appreciate you speaking about how you really feel about friends and family, the industry, your partner, the music industry, everything, bro. It's wonderful, man. And I wish all the people I interviewed were just as candid with how they really feel. So that's beautiful. Remember, everybody out there, the latest from the man is called Prisoner to No One. You saw Rob Moschetti only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.